Greetings! This is your host, Michaela Rena of Wednesday Moon. Join me each week as we learn the energy of the daily tarot reading coupled with the elements of food to help assist in our evolution, happiness,
This
and
is
personal
Wednesday Moon
well-being.
with your host, Michaela Rena Tendaji Ashe. Well, usually we're in the kitchen. However, today is Monday. And on Mondays we do magic. And we use those tarot cards for our ability to transform our experiences. Well, today I pulled three different cards. Usually I pull from my tarot deck. However, I have a goddess deck that I pull from. So, and this is Monday, Moonday, Luna, Magic. So I wanted to take some time to discuss the magic that I employ every week. Actually every day. So let's go over the cards briefly. So the first card I pulled was Dana, the High Priestess. And that's the same as that number 2 card in your tarot deck, the High Priestess. The second card I pulled was Kuan Yin, Compassion. She's connected to 7 of Cups, which is really interesting. If you notice, she's got 7 layers. She's got herself as a lotus and all of the flowers that are connected. So we'll go through that briefly. And the third card is Athena, Inner Wisdom. And so this card is connected to the Knight of Swords, which is really amazing when you think about the aspects of all three of these cards. Now, as I was looking at the cards, Dana being the High Priestess means that she has the ability to discern both worlds, the physical world, the mundane world, and the spiritual world. However, it's even deeper than that. With the High Priestess, she sits in between 2 pillars, the B and the J, and that is really an esoteric or an occult discernment, understanding, and connection, and being able to make application and use of those with freedom in a way that most may not understand, but she is very discerning. She's very educated in both aspects of, or all aspects of esoteric knowledge. And she uses that to her ability. However, in doing so, she doesn't do that by herself. She does that coupled with books that she may have acquired, people that she knows, family members that she is connected to, and an organization of some sort. How she gains her esoteric awareness. Now, the next card again is Kuan Yin, and this is Compassion, and she has 7 layers of open cups. So we have this first layer right here, the lotus is open, and then she has a lotus in her hand. She in herself is a full lotus. She's got one at her heart, her throat, her crown, and then her full aura right here. That is the 7 cups, that lotus is open all the way up, all the way through the chakras. And so the cups is definitely dealing with emotion and feelings, and being in touch with that, having self-love and a personal care for yourself. Not that is separate from caring for other people, but how you integrate that, how you show divine care for someone else, how you show that care that's even for yourself. You don't neglect yourself in the process of loving someone else, which is really, really important. And the 7 of Cups is very magical. First, the number 7 is very it is an illuminated number. It is linked to perfection. It is a very spiritual number, spiritually connected. So therefore, that 7 of Cups is allowing you to discern all of your gifts that you have at every level of your life, okay? And then we have Athena. Now, Athena is a very powerful goddess. She's definitely this one that uses her internal, intuitive wisdom to even to a fault. Sometimes it can really strike against her, because even though she's not able to see certain things, she has the veil behind her. She accesses another world. She makes access to another entity or energies in order to see the other side. This is the card that's saying that make use of that, accept that power, walk in that knowledge, and then acknowledge the energy that does give you insight. So today I'm sitting in an area of my home that's very magical to me, and it is with my ancestors. So I continually do research with my ancestors, information, and I go to several different sites. I do Ancestry.com and AfricanAncestry.com, and it's every time I need something else, some family member comes and they tell me, oh, I found something on African Ancestry, I found something in this family members, or another person, or another post that somebody made that belongs to you. So, and all I have to do is thank my ancestors, who I ask for their support on a daily basis. So I actually come and I sit with my ancestors. Now, through my mother's line, I know her maternal line and her paternal line on both sides. So I know my mother's mother's mother and my mother's husband's line, the paternal line, all the way back. So we're looking at about 6 or 7 generations on both sides, okay? So that's through her mother, and then her mother's mother, and that grandfather backwards, okay? So that splits the V. So on each side of that, about 7 generations. Now, my mother's father's side, I know his mother and her entire line about 10 generations back. And through his father, so that would be my mother's father, his father, which would be my great-grandfather on that side, I know that line 4 generations. And so I make use of knowing who they are and learning who they are, and a little piece of me is the greater, no, I would say all these different pieces of my personality and what I learn and how I have achieved what I do, and the joy that I have is literally these ancestors. I am the greatest part of them, just the same as you are the greatest part of your ancestors, and it is to your advantage to get to know these family members. Now, what's amazing about this is that they just don't sit here and then I have a pretty picture of each one of them. Some of them I don't have pictures for, and what's interesting about that is if I don't have a picture for that person, I have their name written on a piece of paper, so that they are acknowledged at my shrine. And again, this is a shrine. This is not an altar because I don't necessarily do work here, but I do make my petitions here. So I speak at my shrine. Now, again, as I said, I will write their names on a piece of paper for those that I do not have pictures of, but I do know that they're part of my family. And I will put them in the line at the shrine. Now, I also have family members that are not necessarily my family members, however, they are family members of my children. So I have deceased persons that are connected to my children that are their family members, and I'm acknowledging their energy to support my children. That is actually their offspring. So they're my honorary family members that are on my altar or at my shrine. Let me say that best. So it is really amazing that I get to have this sense of peace when I retire at night or when I awaken in the rising, to be able to speak and acknowledge the energy that they are, that's the expression of myself. Now, how do I make my petitions? Well, I have 2 bags. I like to keep track of what it is that I'm asking them, and I want them to be able to keep track of it as well, because we may have passing thoughts throughout the day and they're just flying all over the place, and you got this family member's like literally catching it with a net. It's like, poof, here's this one. She just shot that thought out there. And when is she going to talk to us about that? Or maybe she didn't have time to talk, but we need to take care of it. So what I do is I actually have my petition gift bags. And I have one that is a take it away, and then I have another that's a bring it to me. So if I need an ancestor to take something away, just take some fear away from me, or take the pain away, or take confusion about a particular matter, or take away the chaos of a particular issue, I will write it out in the form of an affirmation, and I'll stick it in the take it away bag. And when it has been taken away, then I actually will light a candle and burn it. I have a cauldron that I keep there so that I can burn that. I burn it out. And my cauldron actually is a glass cauldron that I have with a candle in it specifically for that, and then the ashes just fall in that. So that's the way that I have that one set up. I have the other type of cauldrons as well. And you know, you don't have to do it that way. It's just something that I just created for myself that works well for me. Now, when I want something, I desire something to happen. I desire to know something. I want more patience. I want something in regards to my personal growth. I like to learn a new magical thing, or I want to be able to support a new student. I would like a new scarf. I need to make sure that my car is in order, or can you please bring flowers to me? I would really like flowers so I could put on your altar, on my altar and at my shrine. So that is the bag that I put in. I put it in the bring it to me bag. And just, it's so amazing. When I do receive something, then I take that out and I give thanks, and I send that back out to the ocean. So I actually live about 3 minutes from the beach, and I will give thanks, and I will offer up some food or fruit or something, especially that to Mami Wata, saying thank you for allowing the ancestors to hear me, because they are like water, and they are like the air, and they are like the earth, and they are the spirit, they are the fire, they are all of it. And so then I am thankful, and then I send that that particular petition that was brought to me to the ocean. And that is how I give thanks for what I have. And let me just make clarity. When I have something that I ask them to take away from me, and when those ashes are done being burned, and I will prepare an offering. It's usually something very simple like rice and potatoes. I'll put that in the bag with the ashes, and then I will drop that at the crossroads. And then that's like, it's finished. I've left it in your hands. You've dealt with it, and now I give the offering back to acknowledge that you've done this for me. It's also a way that I'm able to give thanks to the energy of the gatekeeper that holds the title of Papa Legba in my family. So that is how I work with my ancestors at my shrine. And that is the magical Monday, Moonday, Luna musings that I have for today that I wanted to share with you. So it's the 3 cards, the High Priestess, there, Kuan Yin, right there, and Athena. Very good. And so the High Priestess is connected again to the High Priestess in your tarot deck. Kuan Yin, this card in particular, she's got 7 layers of the lotus flower. So that's a 7 of cups. And the 3rd card is Athena, and she is the Knight of Swords. Okay. And what I will say, these cards, this card says right here, just for the magical properties of what's coming into your life. It will be based on what you decide, because today is a Monday, Moonday, Luna. You can decide what you need, and you can either ask your ancestors to take it away, or ask your ancestors to bring it to you. And that's the work that you should do on your Mondays. Go to your legba of the family, ask him to open the gate, and then bring your petition to the family, and then allow them to assist you and watch their workings come through. It is so amazing. We should never neglect the energy of our ancestors. They are still with us. They are energy thoughts. And when you call them to their place with you, then you will see them work wonders. However, what I will say is that be very concerned about which ancestors you're working with. You just don't want to call any old willy-nilly ancestors. If they have had character traits, personality traits that were detrimental or questionable when they were living, then they may still have those traits. And how you know that that dissipates is that the family stops talking about the negative stuff of that particular family member. Matter of fact, all they'll be able to remember is, you know, so-and-so was really such and such, and he had a really kind heart. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow. And but usually if a family member, a deceased family member, had a very, very negative issue in the family, in their heart condition, they will always stay that sort of energy. And every time his name is brought up or her name is brought up, it has a funky kind of feeling in the family unit. And so when that happens, just acknowledge it, that that's exactly what it is. It doesn't mean that that person doesn't need to be on your shrine, because you did come through them. The shrine is the acknowledgement of the family. However, you can say to which family members who have a certain skill to that the request is made for the family members who are truly seeking the advantage and the best position for you and the rest of the family, for the highest good for all involved. And you'll find that certain energies will always come up, but that will eliminate the energies of family members that really are just chaotic people. They were chaotic people then, and they'll probably always be chaotic people until they actually have to learn this lesson again. So that's just how you take the time to first know who your family members are, and then pay attention to the stories. Okay, if you have a family member that says, "Oh, that was Aunt Sue, and oh my gosh, and all she ever did was play around with them, with black magic people, and she, she wasn't a church kind of girl, and they say all kinds of things like that, and she's always in, creating some sort of little concoction, putting hexes on people." I might want to talk to that one. I'm just like, really now? No, that definitely lets you know she was the magical work of the family. And so then if you have people that have now walked their path through Christianity, she's probably the person that you're really supposed to be talking about or talking to. So just because the family members say that she's dark, you need to discern, what does that dark mean? What does that entail? Is it that because she wasn't following a Christian path, or was it that in her dark work, or her so-called dark work, that it was really dark? Now you need to discern that, because sometimes we just don't need to invite that energy, even if it's magical, into our lives, especially if you're not in the capacity to deal with that type of energy. And so, and you can ask the answer. You can ask the ancestors that surround that even guided her. Okay, so I know that she's here for a reason in my life. However, show me how to work with her energy so that I can give honor to her, especially if she was not detrimental to the family, and her power was used correctly for the groups of people that she was working with. See, so there's ways that you can communicate with the family members at your shrine, that sit at your shrine. Well, anyways, this is such an amazing day. Again, it is Moonday, Monday, Luna, Magical Tarot, and I am glad that you've been able to sit with me in a very sacred space that I have, a fun space and a good space. And we go in people's homes all the time and we see their family members all on walls, and that's their shrine. It's just on the wall. So anyways, you get to see a little portion of the space that I keep in and how I maneuver and work through it. Well, with that being said, you have an amazing evening, and I look forward to being with you in the kitchen with Kitchen Tarot tomorrow, and you have an amazing week. Ashe.